Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm your average Joe and we're here with the WWE Draft for WWE 2K25 Universe mode. So we're fresh off of the back of WrestleMania 41 and we're kicking off the show here at the draft with the CEO of the company. It is the Game, Triple H, making his way down to the ring. So Triple H actually showed up on night 2 of WrestleMania and took on Kevin Owens for the Winged Eagle Championship in a surprise matchup, which we weren't aware that we were going to get, but one heck of a matchup it was, and Triple H stood tall at the end of the night, holding that Winged Eagle Championship tall. So the Winged Eagle Championship has been taken back into the WWE, and it is put back into the WWE archives once more. But the Game, Triple H, is out here tonight at the WWE Draft looking to kick off the show and get us ready and prepared for the upcoming Universe Mode series in WWE 2K25. So Triple H, what is he going to open up the show with for us here tonight? We're about to find out. Let's see what Triple H has got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WWE Draft. And more importantly, welcome to WWE 2K25 Universe Mode. Now let me be the first to say, what a weekend. WrestleMania 41 was an event that will be remembered for generations. Some of your favorite superstars reached their dreams on the grandest stage of them all. But others fell from the highest of heights. And that, my friends, is what makes this business the absolute best in the world. Because here in WWE, we don't just celebrate victories. We rebuild, we reload, we evolve. And that is exactly what tonight is all about. Because tonight we shake things up once again as Raw and SmackDown begin a new era. Superstars will find new homes. Rivalries will be reborn. Alliances will be tested. And some will have to fight harder than ever before to prove they belong. Now here's how it works. Each brand will take turns selecting superstars from the roster. Champions will remain on their respective brands. Any superstars not drafted tonight, well, they will enter free agency, or in some cases, they will be recognized as legends. Either way, that means they can show up on either brand at any time. And if they choose, they can earn a contract and stake their claim. And one more thing. The identities of the new general managers of Raw and SmackDown, well, those will be revealed on the first episodes of each show. But trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. So now, I have just one question left to ask. WWE Universe, are you ready? No. I said, are you ready? Then let's get this thing started.
So we're still awaiting the reveal of the general managers for Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. They will be coming on the first episode of each show. But now as we move on with things, we're into the champions picks. So the people who are champions and will be remaining on their brands will be on display right here. And we have the undisputed WWE Champion, the man who took down main event Jey Uso back at WrestleMania with the help of that man in the background, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, officially siding alongside the final boss heading into WWE 2K25. And the final boss has that championship over his shoulder as he holds it up towards the sky. And the final boss can officially call himself, I guess, the head of the table, if you will, as he is now technically at the head of the bloodline. And I mean, are you really going to argue with him when he has the Samoan werewolf in his corner? Jacob Fatu trying to hype up the crowd here for the final boss. But the final boss does have a message for us here tonight at the WWE Draft. So we're going to have to see what the final boss has got to say here as he holds the undisputed championship over his shoulder. He didn't have the greatest years as a whole in WWE 2K24. He suffered multiple losses throughout the year, losing out in the Survivor Series War Games matchup, being the man that was actually pinned in that one. He also lost out to The Undertaker on a Friday Night SmackDown in the main event. He also lost out in the Hell in a Cell to Triple H as well. But the final boss headed to WrestleMania with one goal in mind, one mission, and he achieved that mission and that goal on the grandest stage of them all at the expense of main event Jey Uso. And a mixed reaction here for the final boss as usual. Some die-hard fans in the crowd here tonight. But the final boss looking as serious and as focused as ever as he slowly makes his way into the ring with Jacob Fatu just watching on from a distance. So you could almost say that maybe Jacob Fatu is almost like security for the final boss, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens in this Universe Mode series, because I'm sure we'll get some answers as the series unfolds, but we may even get some answers here tonight, because the final boss is about to grace us with his words here this evening. So let's see what the final boss has got to say here tonight.
Finally, the final boss has come back to the WWE Draft. Now let The Rock make one thing perfectly clear. Last night at WrestleMania 41, you people witnessed history. You people witnessed greatness. You people witnessed the final boss do exactly what he said he was going to do. The Rock stood across the ring from main event Jey Uso, and The Rock smashed him. The Rock beat him. The Rock sent his candy ass back to the bottom of the mountain where he belongs. And now, standing before you is the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE champion. But that's not all. No, no, no. Because you see, The Rock isn't just your champion. The Rock isn't just the final boss. The Rock isn't just the biggest star in Hollywood. The Rock is on the board of directors at TKO, which means The Rock doesn't just run the show. The Rock owns the show. The Rock does whatever the hell The Rock damn well pleases. If The Rock wants to show up on Raw, The Rock shows up on Raw. If The Rock wants to walk into SmackDown, The Rock walks into SmackDown. If The Rock wants to snap Jey Uso's dumbass Yeet glasses and drag his ass into the parking lot to beat his ass, The Rock can make it happen. Now some of you people might be sitting there thinking, well, Rock, you got a busy schedule. You got movies to shoot. You got business deals. Does that mean The Rock has to give up his championship? Oh, you stupid sons of bitches. You actually thought The Rock was going to give up this championship? Nah. This title is staying right here with the final boss. And there ain't a damn thing that anyone in this company, anyone in that locker room, or anyone in this audience can do about it. And speaking of doing whatever the hell The Rock wants, The Rock is the reason the Samoan werewolf stands here in this ring tonight. The Rock is the man who signed Jacob Fatu's contract with WWE. The Rock is the man who placed Jacob Fatu in the Elimination Chamber. The Rock is the man who made sure Jacob Fatu got his hands on the World Heavyweight Championship. And last night, Jacob, you made the right decision. You chose the bloodline. You chose the future. You chose the final boss. But Jacob, The Rock is also a man of truth. And the truth is, on night one of WrestleMania 41, in the main event, you lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Braun Breaker. Now don't get it twisted. Braun Breaker is a beast. But let's get one thing straight. Braun Breaker is not a final boss. But Jacob, The Rock, he promised you something, didn't he? The Rock told you that if you stood by his side, if you made the right decision, The Rock would make all of your dreams come true. And The Rock is a man of his word. But first, The Rock needs something from you. Jacob, the final boss has an assignment for you.
Well, what does that mean? The final boss has an assignment for Jacob Fatu. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see exactly what that assignment is. But now, as we move on with the show, and we have the World Heavyweight Champion over on Monday Night Raw, the man who took down Jacob Fatu on night 1 at WrestleMania. It is the badass Bron Breakker. And then we also have the WWE Women's Champion on Friday Night SmackDown. It is Bayley. So Bayley overcame both Io Sky and Sasha Banks in a triple threat match back at WrestleMania. But just before WrestleMania, she stole that championship from Tiffany Stratton, the former WWE Women's Champion. And I'm sure that Tiffany Stratton is looking to regain that title here. And then over on Monday Night Raw, the Women's World Champion, a woman who I seriously do not know if anyone is going to be able to beat her, because she took down the EST at WrestleMania on night 2, and I believe that she even took 4 KODs and still kicked out and was still hanging in there. And then she walked out with the championship around her waist. So Jade Cargill, the Storm, is the WWE Women's World Champion over on Monday Night Raw. But again, I don't know who on earth is going to be able to beat her over here on Monday Night Raw. But hold on a second, that's Naomi. What is she doing? I'm not sure this is the wisest decision to go after the WWE Women's World Champion in Jade Cargill, as Jade Cargill now back to her feet with some vicious strikes to Naomi. And a European uppercut to the back of the neck there before Jade Cargill heads into the ring, and she's telling Naomi, get in this ring. Big strike there by Naomi though. And Naomi off the springboard into a big crossbody, taking the fight to Jade Cargill here. Naomi looking to take Jade Cargill off guard here and maybe send a message. Naomi clearly wants to head after that WWE Women's World Championship as she gets into the leg drop off of the springboard. Naomi now another leg drop connecting across the chest of Jade Cargill here, as Naomi now heads up to the second rope. What is she thinking about now? Naomi over the top into a neck breaker, taking Jade Cargill down. We haven't seen anyone get this kind of offense in against Jade Cargill, not even the EST. So Naomi is really trying to take advantage of this situation here and take the champion off guard. You have to wonder, does this mean Naomi is heading to Monday Night Raw perhaps? As now these two in the center of the ring, gonna trade blows it seems like. Naomi big strikes here to Jade Cargill. I'm not sure it's the wisest decision, but oh my word, Jade Cargill has been busted open. The Women's World Champion is in quite the way here, and a big knee to the face takes her off her feet. Naomi is really holding her own right now against the Storm, Jade Cargill. Now sending Jade off the ropes and looking for the rear view, but she didn't connect quite fully with it. And well, Naomi here, it looks like she's going for a submission hold here. Looks like she wants to make the Storm tap out, but she releases the hold. Of course, this isn't a match, it's just a bit of a brawl here as Naomi went for the split-legged moonsault, but Jade Cargill wasn't about to allow her to connect with that, as now she sends Naomi off the ropes and slams her down to the mat with authority. And now Jade Cargill is looking to send a message back to her potential next challenger. Naomi, as she hooks the arms, marches around the ring and plants her face first with Jaded. And that could be the end of Naomi's night here tonight. She may be about to regret coming out here and interrupting the Women's World Champion, as now Jade Cargill looks to inflict more damage upon Naomi here, just cranking away at the neck with the knee driven into the spine as well at the same time, and then slamming her face first into the canvas. And now Jade Cargill heading up to the top rope, and a big elbow drop connecting across the heart of Naomi. Naomi here, she could be in deep trouble. She may be about to really regret coming out here as she slammed face first into that concrete floor. Jade Cargill now sending her off the ring post. A brutal, brutal assault here as Jade Cargill just talking trash to Naomi here, and a big boot connecting, sending Naomi flying across the concrete floor here. And sends her into the steel steps as well for good measure. Jade Cargill is not holding back here. She's picking up where she left off in 2K24 Universe mode. Naomi did have the advantage over her momentarily, but Jade Cargill now seems to be asserting her dominance once more. Oh, but Naomi back to her feet, and a big clothesline connecting out of absolutely nowhere. Naomi now, big kicks to the midsection. Quick strikes and a massive kick to the head as well. And Naomi now heading up to the top rope once more. Could she maybe be thinking about that split-legged moonsault? Instead, she goes for the Uso splash. And well, finally, we've got some security out here, but we can move on with the show. We have Chad Gable, the United States Champion, over on Friday Night SmackDown, and he's joined by American-made Julius and Brutus Creed, as well as Ivy Nile. Will also be heading to the Blue Brand on Friday nights. So a recap of the Champions round. We have The Rock, the undisputed champion on Friday nights. Bron Breakker, the World Heavyweight Champion. Bayley, Jade Cargill, and Chad Gable are all your champions so far. We have a couple more champions to show you here. So we have Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental Champion. The man who took down both Bobby Lashley and Big Bronson Reed at WrestleMania to successfully gain the Intercontinental Championship. And then we also have on Friday Night SmackDown the Tag Team Champions, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, the New Day, the men who took down Big E. Big E tried to take the tag team titles all by himself, but he was unsuccessful in doing so. And then as we head back over to Monday Night Raw, we have the World Tag Team Champions. It is Akam and Rezar. It is the Authors of Pain, the men who took down John Cena and R-Truth, as well as DIY at WrestleMania to take those World Tag Team Championships. So the final champions in this Universe Mode series to kick things off are Braun Strowman, the Intercontinental Champion, the New Day as Tag Team Champions on SmackDown, and the AOP on Monday Night Raw. And as we move on with the show, we have the number one draft pick on Friday Night SmackDown. It is the greatest of all time, the franchise. It is John Cena. So John Cena, former World Tag Team Champion. He did hold those titles with R-Truth, forming the team. You can't see the truth, but it seems like John Cena now is looking for solos action once again. And the 16-time world champion here in WWE has a message for the WWE Universe ahead of WWE 2K25 Universe Mode. So let's see what is in store for John Cena on the Blue Brand. And let's see what the greatest of all time has got to say here this evening. I'm sure that he has some plans for this year. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Damn, it feels good to be back on Friday Night SmackDown. Man, what a journey it's been. Y'all know I came back a few months ago to give my old friend R-Truth a helping hand. And together, we had a hell of a ride. We fought side by side and we showed the world that hustle, loyalty, and respect still run deep. But tonight, right here at the WWE Draft, I stand in this ring to tell you that I'm here for more than just nostalgia. I'm here for more than just one last run. I'm here because I have unfinished business. See, I've been in this business for over 2 decades. I've fought the best. I've taken on legends, icons, future Hall of Famers. I've won titles, main evented WrestleManias, and lived a dream that I never take for granted. But there's one thing left. One goal. One mission. As of today, I am a 16-time world champion. That puts me tied with the nature boy, Ric Flair. But I don't just want to tie history. I want to make history. I want to break the record. I want to become the first ever 17-time world champion. Now, I know what y'all are thinking. I know how this sounds. Some of you are probably saying, Cena, you've done it all. You got nothing left to prove. And you know what? You're right. I don't have anything to prove, but I got something left to give. And that's one last unforgettable ride for every single one of you out here tonight. So here's what's going to happen. From now until the lights go out at WrestleMania 42, I'm going all in. This is my final full year in WWE. I'm going to lace up these sneakers, hit this ring, and give you everything I got. And I don't just mean showing up for a match here and there. No. I mean making every moment count. I'm talking about Survivor Series. I'm talking about Royal Rumble. I'm talking about Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Elimination Chamber. And when it's all said and done, it ends where it all began, at WrestleMania. The road starts here, and I promise you, I will fight with everything I have to make history, to become a 17-time world champion, to cement my legacy. And if this is the last ride, if this is the end of the road, then damn it, let's make it the greatest ride of them all. Now the only question left is, who's going to step up and try to stop me?
Hold on a second. Well, here's a man who was successful back at WrestleMania 41. Let's see what he's got to say.
Well, look who it is. Big match, John. The franchise. The face that runs the place. The 16-time world champion. And now, the #1 pick in the WWE Draft. You know, John, I was sitting in the back watching this, and I couldn't help but think, nothing ever changes with you, does it? You've been gone for how long? You barely show up anymore, and yet here you are, walking back in like you never left. You get the #1 pick, you get the big hero's welcome, and now you're out here talking about becoming a 17-time world champion like it's owed to you. Let me ask you something, John. What exactly did you do at WrestleMania 41? Because if memory serves me correctly, you and your little buddy, R-Truth, lost those shiny tag team titles. Meanwhile, me, I stood in this ring, looked the toughest SOB this industry has ever seen dead in the eye. And I beat Stone Cold Steve Austin on the grandest stage of them all. You want to talk about big moments? I made WrestleMania history while you were busy failing one last time. And now, just because you waltz back in and say, this is my last year, I want the title, we're all just supposed to step aside and let it happen? John, let me make something very, very clear. This year, this is my year. And at WrestleMania 42, CM Punk will be in the main event. And there's not a damn thing you or anybody else can do about it. See, you might think you're the best in the world, but I am here to remind you that there's only one best in the world in this company, and you are looking at him. So, John, if you really want to prove you still belong, if you want to go out with a bang, how about you step up right here, right now? Or maybe, just maybe, you'd rather take the same lesson I taught your buddy Stone Cold. If you think you still got it, if you think you're on my level, then go ahead, John, take a swing.
No.
Well, interesting choice there by John Cena. CM Punk seemingly offering a fight, but John Cena walking away. Interesting decision that. As we move on with the draft and the #1 pick heading over to Monday Night Raw. So I guess the #2 pick is going to be the OTC. It is Roman Reigns heading to Monday Night Raw. So Roman Reigns at WrestleMania took on The Fiend and actually was defeated by The Fiend Bray Wyatt inside of the Firefly Funhouse. And now the OTC has a new home in WWE 2K25 as he heads over to Monday nights in Universe mode. And the Tribal Chief has a message for us here this evening ahead of his Universe Mode series, and off of the back of failing to defeat The Fiend at WrestleMania. So we'll have to wait and see what Roman Reigns has got to say once he finally enters the ring. I'm sure there's a lot of anticipation to see what is next for Roman Reigns, following on from his defeat to The Fiend at WrestleMania, which I'm sure is probably going to be itching away at him, as Roman Reigns just approaching the ring now. And hold on a second, that's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens driving the Tribal Chief spine first into the apron, and now looking to beat him down here. The referee has, well, broken these two up, at least momentarily. Roman Reigns back to his feet, but Kevin Owens just sending Roman Reigns into the steel steps. And Kevin Owens is the former Winged Eagle champion, of course losing that title to Triple H back at WrestleMania 41. And now Kevin Owens is over on the red brand, as well as Roman Reigns. And Kevin Owens clearly still unhinged here in Universe Mode, as he's looking to just beat down the Tribal Chief here. Kevin Owens, I'm sure that a lot of his emotions and a lot of his actions as of late have all boiled down to the bloodline and how Roman Reigns treated him when Roman Reigns was the Universal Champion. As Kevin Owens now, big clothesline, taking Roman Reigns off his feet. Well, Roman Reigns needs to be very, very careful, because Kevin Owens, he wiped out his own best friend, or his former best friend, in Sami Zayn back at WrestleMania. And I'm not sure when we're going to see Sami Zayn again, because he got a pile driver through the table. And hold on a second, speaking of package pile driver, Roman Reigns in trouble. Oh my word, Kevin Owens dropping Roman Reigns on the top of his head. My goodness, what does this mean going forward for Monday Night Raw? What does this mean for Roman Reigns? And what does this mean for Kevin Owens as well? We still don't even know who the general manager is. But Roman Reigns has been wiped out by an unhinged Kevin Owens here this evening. But we'll look to move on with the show, and we move back over to Friday Night SmackDown. A man who we just saw moments ago, it is CM Punk. The man who offered out the challenge to John Cena for a fight here tonight. But John Cena was the man who declined the offer and decided to walk away, which is an interesting situation, as we're not used to seeing that from John Cena. But CM Punk making it clear that this year he wants to main event WrestleMania at WrestleMania 41.
Ladies and gentlemen, the matter is highly. What you're about to witness is dignified deformation executed by unprecedented precision. A diabolical athlete who will stop at nothing to uphold the integrity and honor of this great sport. Der Ringgeneral Gunther.
And next up over on Monday Night Raw, we have the former Intercontinental Champion, the man who actually started off WWE 2K24 as Intercontinental Champion, but wasn't very successful in the end during 2K24. So he'll be looking to have a better 2K25 Universe Mode series, and I'm sure he'll be looking at that World Heavyweight Championship as well. And as we head back over to Friday Night SmackDown, we have the American Nightmare. We have Cody Rhodes heading over to Friday Nights on the Blue brand, fresh off of the back off of going inside Hell in a Cell against his former mentor, the Viper, Randy Orton. And Cody Rhodes was the man who would stand tall after listening to his own inner demons and letting out his inner Homelander. And Cody Rhodes seems to have turned over a new leaf here in 2K25 and maybe looking to finish his story in this Universe Mode series. So let's get a recap of round one for the men's division. And we have John Cena as the #1 draft pick, Roman Reigns #2 heading over to Monday nights, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes on the blue brand, And then the Ring General also heading over to Monday Night Raw. And next up, as we move back over to Friday Night SmackDown, we have the #1 draft pick in the women's division. And it is the Eradicator. It is Rhea Ripley heading over to Friday Night SmackDown. So Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania took down Dirty Dominic Mysterio in an intergender match. As now we head over to Monday Night Raw, and we have Jordynne Grace as the #2 draft pick. And you can see she's just in the car park, just arriving. But who the hell is that? What on earth is this? Well, Jordynne Grace is being assaulted in the car park here, just after arriving here at WWE for the draft and being the #2 draft pick in the women's division. But she's being absolutely wiped out here by a masked figure. Who on earth is that? Well, whoever it is having their way with Jordynne Grace right now. And what on earth are they doing here? Well, Jordynne Grace being taken over to that car towards the boot and just slammed face first into the boot of that car. And now, hold on a second, no. Don't do this, no! Oh my goodness, trapping the fingers of Jordynne Grace in the boot of the car. And now what on earth is this person doing now? Just dragging Jordynne Grace across the car park here. Got the CCTV footage right now. What on earth is this person doing? Why are they attacking Jordynne Grace like this? Jordynne Grace has only just come on the scene here. So you have to wonder who is even going to have the motivation to do something like this. And oh my word, spine first onto that steel chair. Well, Jordynne Grace is going to be out for quite some time here in Universe Mode. But we have Tiffany Stratton up next on Friday Night SmackDown. The former WWE Women's Champion will be looking to take back her title off of Bayley in this Universe Mode series. So we'll have to wait and see whether Tiffany Stratton can regain that championship. And then over on Monday Night Raw, we have the Genius of the Sky, a multiple-time WWE Women's Champion in 2K24 Universe Mode. And she'll be looking to carry on that kind of momentum onto Monday Night Raw. And I'm sure she'll be keeping her eyes on the Storm, Jade Cargill, and perhaps that Women's World Championship. And then as we head back over to Friday Night SmackDown, we have the former Women's World Champion in the EST, Bianca Belair, heading over to Friday night. So she actually started off the 2K24 Universe Mode series on Friday Night SmackDown and was a multiple-time WWE Women's Champion and a Women's World Champion as well at the end of the series. But let's get the roundup of round one for the women. The #1 draft pick was Rhea Ripley. Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair also heading over to Friday nights. Jordynne Grace will be out of action, but she'll be joining Io Sky on Monday Night Raw. And as we head back over to Monday Night Raw for the men's division, we have the visionary, the revolutionary. It is Seth freaking Rollins heading over to Monday Night Raw. A man who is all too familiar with Roman Reigns as well. So they will be back on the same brand, but Roman Reigns will probably be out of action for quite some time. But Seth freaking Rollins, a former World Heavyweight Champion. And then back over on Friday Night SmackDown, we have the former three-time undisputed WWE Champion. It is main event Jey Uso, the man who was unsuccessful back at WrestleMania 41 due to the interference by the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, costing him the championship against the final boss. But then as we head back over to Monday Night Raw, we have the Scottish psychopath. We have Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre did end the series in 2K24 on Monday Night Raw, and it looks like he's going to keep his spot on Monday nights here in 2K25. And then as we head back over to Friday Night SmackDown, we have the Viper, Randy Orton, sticking on the same brand as Cody Rhodes. And we're fresh off of the back off of them two having a feud throughout the entire series of 2K24. So you have to see what's in store for the future of Randy Orton on Friday nights. And then back on Monday Night Raw, we have Kevin Owens, the man who delivered a pile driver to Roman Reigns earlier on this evening. And Roman Reigns, it is official, will be out indefinitely. So Kevin Owens now is slowly working his way through the roster. First taking out Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and then taking out Roman Reigns here tonight. But in round 2, we have Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw. And then main event, Jey Uso and the Viper, Randy Orton, heading to Friday Night SmackDown. And then as we head back over to Monday nights in the women's division, we have Naomi heading over to Monday Night Raw, the woman who brutally attacked and brutally assaulted Jade Cargill earlier on this evening, but also received her own bit of punishment as well at the hands of the Women's World Champion. It is Naomi. And then back over to Friday Night SmackDown, and the Queen is back where she belongs on Friday nights. Charlotte Flair will be looking to head towards the championship title picture, and she'll surely have her eyes on Bayley right now, as I'm sure that Charlotte Flair wants to gain that WWE Women's Championship. And then back on Monday Night Raw, and we have Liv Morgan, the woman who you could say is responsible for the downfall or the breakup of Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. You could argue that Liv Morgan is the reason why we had that match at WrestleMania, but she is also going to be followed by Raquel Rodriguez over to Monday Night Raw. And then hold on a second, well, it's a big call up for Jada Parker, the woman who we saw debut in 2K24 Universe Mode in the Royal Rumble match itself, but she's earned herself a contract in 2K25 as she looks to head over to Friday Night SmackDown and perhaps maybe even look to take that WWE Women's Championship. But back over on Monday Night Raw, and we have the return of the man. It is Becky Lynch, a former WWE Women's Champion in 2K24 Universe Mode. It was none other than Nia Jax as the woman who successfully dethroned Becky Lynch and took that championship. But Becky Lynch defeated the EST on 3 different occasions in 2K24. But round 2 for the women sees Naomi, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch heading over to Monday Night Raw, whereas Charlotte Flair and Jada Parker heading over to Friday Night SmackDown. So as we head back over to Friday Night SmackDown for round 3 of the draft, and we have Andrade, the man who made Monday Night Raw his home in 2K24 Universe Mode, and he came ever so close to becoming the Intercontinental Champion if it wasn't for Cyber Sunday, where Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed were his opponents. But as we head back over to Monday Night Raw, and we have LA Knight switching brands here. So in 2K24 Universe Mode, this man was Mr. Money in the Bank and had a very good start to his Universe Mode series. Things went downhill after he failed his cash-in at SummerSlam, but he would become the United States Champion later on in the series. And then back over on Friday Night SmackDown, and we have the man who held the World Heavyweight Championship hostage for most of the year in 2K24. It is Carmelo Hayes, and he's flanked by his partner Trick Williams here. So it seems like we may be seeing some action with both of these two men over on Friday Night SmackDown. So Carmelo Hayes finally moving away from that World Heavyweight Championship. But what could be in store for Carmelo Hayes on Friday nights on the blue brand? And then back on Monday Night Raw, we have the former Tribal Chief, the man who tried to steal the Ula Fala away from Roman Reigns. It is Solo Sikoa, is over on Monday Night Raw. So he hasn't gone too far from Roman Reigns because they are still on the same brand. But Solo Sikoa heads over to Monday Night Raw all alone here, it seems like, as well. And then back on Friday Night SmackDown, we have the Punisher. It is Damian Priest, the man who went head-to-head with Finn Balor back at SummerSlam in 2K24, but Damian Priest was unsuccessful as Finn Balor brought out the Demon at SummerSlam, and Finn Balor was able to be successful, and Finn even went on to become the World Heavyweight Champion. But unfortunately for him, that title reign would only last a month or so, before Carmelo Hayes would take advantage and take the title back. But over on Friday Night SmackDown, we have Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and Damian Priest in round 3. And LA Knight and Solo Sikoa heading over to Monday Night Raw. And then back over in the women's division on Friday Night SmackDown to open up round 3. We have the Prodigy. It is Roxanne Perez, a woman who earned herself a spot inside the Elimination Chamber. So was very, very close to maybe even heading to WrestleMania as the Women's World Champion. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for her. But I'm sure that she'll be looking to maybe do that in this Universe Mode series in 2K25. So have to see what's in store for the future of Roxanne Perez. And then over on Monday Night Raw, we have Meta 4. It is Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, both heading over to Monday Nights. So what could be in store for these two? These two both had the opportunity to earn their spots in the Elimination Chamber, but neither of them were successful in doing so, unfortunately. So they'll be looking to have a better start to their 2K25 series as compared to 2K24. And then back over on Friday Night SmackDown, we have Blair Davenport, the woman who headed into the Firefly Funhouse to try and take down Uncle Howdy, and it seemed like she was successful, especially seeing as the lights seemed to cut out. But it seems like Blair Davenport may have sacrificed Alexa Bliss in the process of trying to take down Uncle Howdy. And Alexa Bliss did try to warn Blair Davenport, but we'll have to wait and see whether we will see Alexa Bliss once again in this Universe Mode series. But round 3 for the women sees Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport head over to Friday Night SmackDown, whereas Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson will both head over to Monday Night Raw. And now the final round of the draft, and it is round 4 over on Monday Night Raw. And we have another NXT superstar debuting in Universe Mode. And it is none other than Oba Femi, a man who I'm sure could take this entire roster by storm. But we'll have to see what is in store for the future of Oba Femi over on Monday Night Raw. Will he go for the World Heavyweight Championship, or will he go for the Intercontinental title? I guess only time will tell for Oba Femi. But as we head back over to Friday Night SmackDown, and we have Dirty Dominic Mysterio back on the same brand with Rhea Ripley once more. But I'm sure that he won't be wanting to pick that fight anymore after WrestleMania, where Rhea Ripley was able to put him down after absolutely destroying Dirty Dominic Mysterio and just dominating the matchup. Rhea Ripley stood tall at the end of the night. But what could be in store for Dirty Dom on Friday nights? As back on Monday Night Raw, and we have the return of the Mad Dragon. It is Ilya Dragunov, a man who we did see back in SummerSlam time in 2K24 Universe Mode, as he was trying to chase down that United States Championship. But now he heads over to Monday nights, and maybe he'll shift his focus towards that Intercontinental title, and Ilya Dragunov could perhaps maybe even take that championship away from Braun Strowman. But only time will tell for Ilya Dragunov. And then back over on Friday Night SmackDown, we have Big Jim. It is Jimmy Uso heading over to the blue brand, so getting separated from his tribal chief in Roman Reigns. But Jimmy Uso, a former United States champion in 2K24 Universe Mode series, he may be thinking about replicating that exact situation here in 2K25, and maybe looking to gain that United States Championship, and maybe even that Universal Championship here in this Universe Mode series. And in the final pick over on Monday Night Raw, we have Ethan Page, another man from NXT, getting the call up here and earning himself a contract and making his debut here in 2K25 Universe Mode series. It is Ethan Page. Well, what a big opportunity that is for him, but what title is he going to go for? As now we look to recap on the entire draft itself, we have The Rock, Bayley and Chad Gable as champions on Friday Night SmackDown. We also have Bron Breakker and Jade Cargill on Monday Night Raw. as your World Heavyweight and Women's World Champion. We have Braun Strowman and the Authors of Pain as champions also on Monday Night Raw. And then the New Day will hold the WWE Tag Team titles on Friday Night SmackDown. And then for round 1, we saw John Cena, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes all head over to Friday Night SmackDown. And then on Monday Night Raw, we saw Roman Reigns and the Ring General Gunther heading over to the Red Brand. And then for the women's division, the number 1 draft pick was Rhea Ripley. And then Jordynne Grace was number 2 heading over to Monday Night Raw. Io Sky as well heading over to the Red Brand, whereas Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair heading over to the Blue Brand. And then round 2 started off with Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw. And then Jey Uso and Randy Orton heading to Friday nights. And then round 2 for the women started off with Naomi, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch heading over to Monday nights, whereas Charlotte Flair and Jada Parker headed over to Friday Night SmackDown. And then round 3 for the men, we saw Andrade, Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest heading over to Friday Night SmackDown, whereas LA Knight and Solo Sikoa headed over to Monday Night Raw. And then round 3 for the women, the final picks we saw was Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport on Friday Night SmackDown. And then Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson from Meta-4 headed over to Monday Night Raw. And in the final picks of the show, we saw Oba Femi, Ilya Dragunov and Ethan Page heading over to Monday Night Raw. And then Dominic Mysterio and Jimmy Uso headed over to Friday Night SmackDown.